so it's time to take a rest. Where do you camp? Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. So the topic for today is camping safely in your Dungeons and Dragons game. Where do you camp in a safe manner when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons when you need to take that short rest or long rest? Where do you do it? Let's start off with where you don't want to camp when you're doing a rest or where you don't want to stop and take a rest. Number one is any location that has enemies or monsters close by that might interrupt you or potentially attack you. Now those locations you don't want to camp in are things like dungeons and castles, a lair to a monster or a creature, or even in hideouts. Those aren't good places to go and camp. Number two is near a main travel route or any kind of travel route that might involve bandits, wild animals, or just raiders. The thing is, any kind of route that is travelled often is usually going to have trouble near it. So stay away from the main roads, any kind of animal trail or a normal trail, and certainly stay away from bush tracks. Don't camp there. Number three is any kind of water source that an animal might be drinking from or a monster might drink from during the adventuring day. That means things like the coastal beaches or a river or a lake or a stream. Not a good idea. Any kind of watering hole, stay away from them. Remember, the thing is, with any kind of water source, there are things called Dungeons and Dragons sized mosquitoes, and they're called sturges, and you don't want to have to deal with them. These are the locations where creatures will show up. Okay, so what about some good places that you can actually camp or take your rest and you should be fine? Number one is any kind of location that's hidden and away from straying eyes. Number two is basically an empty cave that has no monsters or creatures in it. Make sure it has a bush in front of it. If it doesn't have a bush in front of it, put a bush in front of it. You can cut some bush and then leave it in front of the cave opening, and that will actually hide your location. Number three is the rope trick spell. Yes, it lasts 1 hour. It will get you that short rest that you need. Number four is Lemon's Tiny Hut. It's a spell that lasts 8 hours. That means you can get a short rest in or a long rest in and you will be completely safe. Well, not completely, because you can have something dig underneath the hut itself, but it's pretty good at doing its job. Number five is Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion. This spell is quite a high level spell, so it's hard to access, but it will last 24 hours. You can get a lot of short rests in, you can get a long rest in. It's a good place to set up. If you have access to it, certainly use it. Now number six, would you believe it, if you don't have access to spells, there are other good places that you can camp, and actually on the outskirts or outside the walls of any kind of town or a city where they have a patrolling guard. That's usually a really good place to set up camp, particularly if you don't want to go into town, which of course would be much safer, and go and use an inn or a tavern to actually stay the night, and you want to tent up. Now make sure that if you are going to set up a campsite, you do the two things that you absolutely should be doing every time you set up camp. And that is making sure you have an alarm system or using the alarm spell, and making sure you have a sentry. Sentry duty is incredibly important. Make sure you have a sentry set up. Otherwise, all these things about picking the right location for your campsite won't mean squat. Now if you found this video helpful and informative, fantastic. I'm happy to hear that you are finding it useful. I have hundreds of videos for players and dungeon masters. You are welcome to go and check out if you want to. If you want to support the channel so I keep doing video content like this, you can do so through my Patreon page or the Amazon affiliate links down in the description. I have a merchandise shelf underneath all of my videos. If you want to buy merch or just watch my videos, that's fine too. Make sure to share, like and subscribe. Hit the bell button to be notified when I go live and when I publish new videos. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.